Hello readers and writers, Danielle. Welcome back. Sorry about the look and lack of makeup and all that kind of stuff. This is my first official day of winter break. I finally turned in all my papers and did my tests and all that, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna do anything today. So I've remained true to that oath that I did to myself, and I'm not doing a lot with myself today. Besides filming this video, of course. But this video is gonna be new releases in December that I'm excited for. I'm just letting you guys know up front, it's not gonna be a lot, and it's not gonna be really any Christmas books, because a lot of the Christmas books focus around contemporary romances and stuff like that. You guys know that's not really my cup of tea. I believe I have 4 books on here. It was just kind of hard to find non-Christmassy, lovey-dovey type of stuff. So that's what's going on there, but it's it's fine. It's fine. Let's just get into the video. No Beauties or Monsters by Tara Gojan. I believe this one comes out the 7th of December, so it's already out. First things first, this cover is absolutely beautiful. I love the cool colors and then the pink and all that. But this story follows a young girl named Riley, and she moves away from this town that she really hated, her and her family do, and then work brings them back, and I believe it said it was in the desert, which is just right off the bat already interesting to me, because I don't read a lot of books that take place in the desert, whether it be fantasy or just blanked on the name, fantasy or mystery. God bless my soul. There was one that I read kind of like that. It was We Hunt the Flame, but it took place in the desert, but it really didn't. I just didn't feel that vibe from it, besides the headdresses that they wore or anything like that. But I do like the concept of it taking place in the desert and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot that you can do there with too much heat, not enough water, hallucinations, mirages. You can do a lot with just that one setting. And also it says the Mojave Desert, which is a pretty big desert, so that could even make for an interesting action piece, to have someone just be trapped in the middle of the desert and have to find their way back. So there's a lot that you can do there. Anyway, moving on. Riley, she moves back, and 2 of her friends are there. The only problem is one of her friends actually ends up going missing, and that means that there is a killer on the loose. Now, first initially reading this synopsis, I'm like, oh, this is a straightforward mystery thriller, but then it says that Riley begins to see visions of monsters and stuff like that, and creatures. So I'm like, maybe it's a fantasy. I don't really know. But it's all evidently tied to her grandfather in the cabin and all that, and she just wants to find out the truth. So that does make me believe it is a fantasy, which again, the images and visions that she's seeing, it could also play into the desert. That could make for an interesting set piece. I can see how that can kind of go wrong though, as if I don't know, just going too much back and forth, is this real, was it not real, is this real, is it not real, just throughout the entirety of the book. And it's okay, we get it, just calm down. But yeah, that's really the only downside that I can see possibly happening in this book. The rest of it sounds pretty good. I do hope though it's not really an urban fantasy. Urban fantasy is not my favorite. It does sound like an urban fantasy, but I think I'll be okay with that, because the mystery and thriller part of it does seem to be in the forefront. So this might be one of the only urban fantasies where I'm like, this is chill, this is good. I Know Your Secret by Daphne Benendez-Grab. This one came out the 7th, so again, it's already off. And right off the bat, when I saw this this cover and title, I'm like, oh, is this I just blanked on a McManus book, One of Us is Lying? It's not, but you can tell they were highly inspired by that book / series, because it's One of Us is Lying meets Pretty Little Liars for middle grade readers. So yeah, this is a middle grade book. It does follow 7th graders, which I'm like, okay, not really my cup of tea, but I can see how that can be interesting. But yeah, like I've said this about the covers before. I'm kind of sick of seeing these types of covers, and like it's kind of okay when it's the author because they've kind of, I don't know, claimed those as theirs. Like if you see a Karen McManus book, you're like, oh, that's her. I know that author, you know. And now it seems like, and this isn't me trying to like diss anyone, diss. This isn't me trying to diss anyone, especially the author or the person who designed the cover. This isn't me being like, oh, you just want a cheap way to get people to buy. No, that's not it. I'm just saying it does look very familiar, and I do like the cover. I do like that it's all red, but I have stated before that this kind of cover is not my favorite. Again, this is nothing personal against the author and or the cover designer. I think it's just what is happening in terms of school secrets with murder, stuff like that. Kind of how like for a bit you had a lot of YA fantasies with just birds on the title. You know, just birds. That was it. Just black birds. And you're like, okay, great. You know, so I think it's just one of those things. But anyway, let's get into it. This, I believe, follows four seventh graders who are being blackmailed and they want to protect their secret at all costs, and this does take place over one day of school. Now again, this is the middle grade, so it's only 240 pages, so I can see how this might be a bit rushed, and that like info might just be like, okay, let's just say the info right now. Let's just get it out there. Which might be preferable to like a slow burn thriller, but at the same time I kind of like the slow burn thrillers where like they reach that breaking point, which I don't think they're really going to reach because A, it's 7th graders, B, this is for middle graders, but where they just reach that breaking point and they just break down and like, okay, here's what happened. Like, I've lost everything. I have nothing else to lose. I don't care anymore. That's what I like. Do I think that's going to happen here? No, but that's okay, you know? I still think that the premise is very interesting, to say the least, and it is kind of interesting to see it following 7th graders. You guys know me, I don't read middle grade. I read more YA, especially older YA, like with a lot of murder and blood and gore and stuff like that, and like a lot of adult themes. You know, I don't read like the younger side of YA, which if you do, that's fine. It's just my personal preference. But yeah, I can see how I might be disappointed in terms of the possibly lack of gore or, you know, just mood and stuff like that, because it is for middle graders, but at the same time they can go pretty dark. I'm pretty sure the Percy Jackson books are middle grade. I know Harry Potter in middle grade, but it's like slowly worked their way up into somehow YA and adults. Like they're for everyone essentially. So I can't see how that can happen. That's really all I gotta say about that one. We kind of heard this before, but nonetheless, it still intrigues me. A History of Wild Places by Shia Earnshaw. This one also came out the 7th, so again, it's already out. This one is a mystery slash thriller, and at the beginning it sounds like it's gonna follow this guy named Travis who's very good at finding missing people and just tracking them down. However, when he does go to this very small town in search of someone named Maggie, he ends up disappearing himself, and then years later Theo steps into the picture and finds Travis's abandoned truck, finds his abandoned truck and has to like kind of go around this town and ask questions. And it seems like there's a lot of secrets that are being kept, especially between Theo and his family, that no one really wants to get out. This one I am really excited for to read, just because it like I've kind of stated that small town things are not my favorite, especially because it seems like, and I'm not trying to, you know, point out anyone, or like if you like this trope, that's fine. If you write this trope, that's fine. All I'm saying is it seems like when you have a small town and like something happens, you take the characters to like the 10th degree of like the worst people. It's like, you all can't be like that now, you know? Like everything gets just like ramped up, which I get why it happens because it's a small town, everyone knows one another, all that kind of stuff. They're all connected, but like at the same time it's like almost comical when it does get ramped up to that degree, because I'm like, okay, let's just take a step back, let's just calm down, Betty Sue, you know. But this one, it sounds like it'll be good, because mainly like I can see how maybe the entire town will be on it, because it says that they all have a similar frame of mind. I can see how any outsiders coming in there can be like a threat to them or anything like that. I hope that it doesn't go to like that level that I just talked about, like for example just sharp objects. Like that one I almost found comical because I'm just like, whew, I'm not gonna get into it now, but I'll link the video up there for you guys to watch, but like I'm not gonna do that now, that's gonna be a whole thing. But yeah, anyway, I can see how that works out. It is very interesting to have like someone looking for a person, they go missing, someone else looking for that person who's looking for that person who's like, you know, just like that. And like the cover, absolutely beautiful, you know. I don't need to talk too much about the cover. It's beautiful. It looks like an ink blot, but it's like also a forest. God bless. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for this one. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I am. Trust me, just trust in me that I am excited for this one. But yeah, no, I can see how this one can be really dark and twisted and just all around confusing and almost like Shutter Island, if that makes sense, which I really enjoyed that book, just because of the setting and like how everyone was like against this one guy, but they didn't seem like it, and it made like the main character be like, am I just imagining this or what? That's what I can see happening here. If that happens, I'm all for it. And then this one, it's not so much a new release, it kind of is. I'm kind of cheating here, but like, you know, it's only 4, so I can do this. It's The Curse Workers, White Cat, Red Glove, Black Heart by Holly Black, so books 1 through 3. So this collection is being released in December. I think it's like the 14th. But like the first book was released in like 2010, so it's been a hot minute, you know. And I think she like rewrote some of it and re-released it like now. So it sounds like these people have like the powers to change emotion, memories, luck, blah 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 blah. And then a guy named Cassell, he tries to keep this like a secret from everyone, but he starts to like sleepwalk, which makes things come to life. And then he's also noticing other disturbing things. And it looks like this is a game. Sorry, that was a very choppy explanation. But yeah, this premise is very intriguing towards me. It's kind of like an urban fantasy, but it's kind of not, so I think I'll enjoy it in that sense, because like we'll follow someone who knows the magic system. Urban fantasy is not my favorite when they don't know the magic system and they're just like, oh, what is this? Oh my gosh, you know. I was like, okay. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, I have read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. It wasn't my favorite, partly because of the Fae, partly I just didn't like June? Is it June? Partly I just didn't like June. Parts of it just seemed very unnecessary, and then without spoiling anything, one of the twists towards the end involving the prince, I was like, that kind of contradicts your entire story arc, good sir. But okay, you do what you want to do. Which I do want to say, Carden? I think his name's Carden. Carden is my favorite character, and I do want to read why the Prince of Elfenheim doesn't like stories, something like that. I'll find it. It's not that title, I know it's not. But yeah, I do want to read that, but I have been told that like you need to read that series in order to understand that standalone, so I'm just like, it's fine. Yeah, Carden was my favorite. I do believe that she wrote like the mean, sadistic types of characters pretty well when it wasn't the main character, because without going too much into it, I just felt like June was one of those female YA protagonists especially that was like, I'm the smartest, I'm the fastest, I'm the strongest, I can outsmart anyone and anything. whatever, and I'm just like, okay, let's just calm down, you know, like I'm like, you're good at a few things, sweetie, you're not the best though. Like that I've talked about this trope before. I don't like that video up there. It's just not my favorite when a female protagonist is good at everything, because to me that's not realistic. Like, I know it takes place in fantasy and all that, but for me, like, you're not gonna be good at everything. That's the part of life that sucks. There are some things that you want to be good at that you're not gonna be good at. You know, you just need to suck it up, adapt, overcome, and then focus on the things that you are good at. That's life. I'm sorry. But yeah, that character annoyed me, so I hope that the characters and the curse workers are not like that. That was a really big side rant. I am so sorry about that. But yeah, so I have read her previous books, and I'm like, I'll give her one more chance. Just one more chance. So yes, I do understand that this books 1 through 3 are not new. Essentially, they're just being re-released to happen at this time. But I do kind of want to read it. The premise I found interesting. It doesn't revolve around Faye, so we're good there. That's about it. And there you have it. Those are my 3, technically 4 books that I'm excited to come out in December. Again, there aren't too many of them because Christmas books are not my favorite. Like, I'm the type of person, like, on Christmas Eve, I'll watch all the Grinch movies and then all 3 Santa Claus movies starring Tim Allen. I'll be like, yes, I'm now in the spirit. Merry Christmas at like 2 a.m. You know, I'm just not one of those people that gets overly excited for it. But yeah. By the way, if you haven't watched the Santa Claus movies starring Tim Allen, do yourself a favor and watch those movies. They're classic. They're good. You understand more jokes as an adult. They're funny. I like them. End of story. Okay. Also, the Grinch. Just a side note. I relate to him more and more each year. Like, I understand why this man wanted to live up in a cave with his dog. I've been wanting to do that since I was 14, okay? Like, I get it. That's my Christmas. That's my Christmas. God bless. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And it means the world to me if you follow me on my other social media, such as Instagram, Facebook, and my reading platforms. Those will be listed down in the description below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!